Hey, it's Chronologically Gaming, the only channel that's perpetually retro because we're playing every video game in order of release. By the recording of this video today, we would have played over 1,000 and checked out over 1,000 video games. How do I know this? Well, I've made a spreadsheet on Google Sheets where everyone can see and track every single game we played, so check the link down below where it says all the games so far. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to 1981. We last left off with Pyramid of Doom, so let's continue our quest playing every single video game. Our next video game is in England. This is the ZX81, and it really should shine. It's 1981, so the ZX81, you need to start performing. Give us the good stuff. Let's see if QS Asteroids has it on the ZX81. Let's take a look at the box for QS Asteroids. QS standing for Quicksilva, which is the company that designed this one. And you can see we have the cassette tape we'll be using, unauthorized copying, hiring, and lending prohibited. See back cover. We need 16K of RAM to load this one. That's it, just 16K. And no other manual information for this one, so let's pop in our cassette tape, hook it up to the ZX81, and play like it's 1981. All right, we're in. So it's giving us the ASCII or the text. Whoa, okay, we already died. So QS Asteroids is an asteroid clone. And we already had game over that fast. Can we go again? Do we have another shot? Do we have anything? Darn. Well, I don't know the way to set it up again, so we'll just close out and then go back in the game. This time without dying. So I'm going to try out the usual controls, which is using the keyboard. The keyboard controls looks like this. And we're going to use the numbers, and yeah, the numbers do work. So it is playing as asteroids, but I'm not a ship. I'm a random series of numbers, and every time I turn, I have a different set of numbers. So I have one button to use for thrust, just like asteroids, and then one button for shoot. And what's really blowing me away is we have sound. It is so rare to have a ZX81 game play sound for us, but here it is. Yes, so I'm playing asteroids on a ZX81. Incredible. While it doesn't look as beautiful as other asteroid games we played, it's still playing pretty good. And keep in mind, we're in a PAL territory, so it's hit 50 hertz, but it's still pretty good for asteroids. I'm impressed. And the sound. I can't believe we have sound on this one. So even though it doesn't sound amazing, any sound on the ZX81 is impressive. We've had lots of home computers that have internal sound chips that just give us a few bleeps and bloops. So for 1981, this is pretty good. Oh gosh, but the death sound, gosh, it's ear-piercing. And we got one more to go for. There you go, and it repeats. So there you go, a text version of Asteroids. Who knew the ZX81 could do it? So cool. Yeah, so the frame rate, though, was highly impressive for the time. Yeah, it's powerful for a system like the ZX81, the budget computer by Sinclair. So for the rating for this one, I'm really considering giving it around the average range. And usually the ZX81 games, we don't really get them as impressive ratings because part of the reason we're doing the show of showcasing every single system in order of release is you can kind of see who's behind and who's not. Currently, England is behind compared to North America when it comes to releases for computers. It's going to change, of course, but as of right now, the ZX81 isn't nearly as powerful as everything we can have in North America. And there's other computers that are being released in Europe at the time, but for the ZX81, it's underpowered. It's like the even lower version of the TRS-80. So, but the way this plays, I can't deny it's a good game. So it plays well. I'm going to say for the time 3 stars. If this was by ZX81 itself, it'd be a lot higher. But we'll do 3 stars, which is an average game for the time. Pretty cool for QS Asteroids. Asteroids, who knew? All right, and with that, let's see what our next game is. We're still on the ZX81. Yes, it's 1981. The ZX81 must shine. This is QS Defender. This one was first released in 1981 as QS Defender. And there you go. There's the original box, the first box. Still needs 16K for this one. QS standing for, again, Quicksilva, the company that designed it. And then if you look at the box, we have 2 different versions. It was released next year in 1982 as QS Defenda. because obviously Defender, the licenses took shame to that one, and they had to change it to QS Defender. So next year, we won't be seeing that. We're just going to showcase it here because it's the exact same game. And then on the sleeve, we can see the instructions: 6 Defender missiles, 4 alien missiles, up to 8 aliens, moving planetary surface, scoring and Defender spaceship count. So is it really Defender? I'm not sure. And then on the inside sleeve, it says the grotesque alien craft rises from the pink glow of the horizon, firing a salvo of Mason torpedoes at you. You thrust forward, swooping over the surface, firing your ruby laser. It's all black and white. I don't think it'll be ruby. With a blossoming of flame and metal fragments, the first alien is destroyed. A second wave, you drop at your ship, your fingers tighten on the controls. So they get up, down, thrust, and fire. Your program to extend your display is 32 by 31 characters. Whoa, 84 fast-moving characters. That is no way. Now, you can see the sleeve says 1982 because it was re-released as Defender. But we're going to be playing both here since it was first out in 1981. All right, let's get the cassette, pop it into our ZX81, and play QS Defender by Nick Lambert. Way to go, Nick. All right, as usual, we get our keyboard pulled up for the ZX81, hit run and new line, and let's see what happens. No way, we have sound again. Okay, so I'm again using the spongy ZX81 keyboard, and I'm using the numbered keys. You can see the 5, 6, 7, and 8 are cursor keys. Wow. It's no lie. It's really displaying and making stuff really smooth. I just ran into a ship and died. And we have sound. ZX81 with sound. Where'd all the other games come from? Why don't we have any other games with sound? But we have a scrolling bottom. It's not really Defender though. It's auto scrolling. So even though they use the name Defender, it's not Defender. It's pretty much just we're playing a shoot 'em up on the ZX81. Again, a ZX81 game that's blowing my mind. And look how smooth the shot is. For a 50 hertz game, it looks amazing. Well, I mean, considering it, we're obviously playing with characters that aren't using sprite-based. We're using a number as a ship and a few blocks. But you still get the idea. I mean, look how much firepower I have, too. Because of the popularity of Defender and Super Cobra, the other horizontally scrolling shooters we've seen in 1981, everyone's taking that formula and like, okay, if it scrolls horizontally, it's Defender. But it's obviously not. We know Defender can go back and forth, and also has the capture and rescue mission. Yeah, so this one's just essentially a horizontally scrolling shoot 'em up on the ZX81. Wow. The reason why horizontally scrolling is such a big deal is the refresh rate of all screens is vertical, of the way that the gun shoots on the screen. So to scroll something horizontally, it does take a lot of programming to make this happen. It's pretty impressive, and so to do this on the ZX81 is even more impressive. Yeah, but that's pretty much it. You know, no power-ups, but it's the usual for 1981. So again, for QS Defender, I actually would rate these higher, but the thing is the controls. ZX81 didn't have a dedicated joystick. You could take the ZX Spectrum joystick and plug into this one, is what I heard, the Kingston or the cursor joystick. But at the time when this came out, there isn't a ZX Spectrum yet. And you had to use the controls with the cursor keys. So you're only pushing the keys to get the controls. So it's not as good of an experience in 1981. So for this one, I'm still going to say I don't really want to bump it above average. Considering all the other games we've seen, it's tricky to do because of the controls. So I'm still going to say it's 3 stars, a very average experience for the time. It's a very good experience, but because of using a keyboard, and the keyboard on the ZX81 was not very good, we'll say 3 stars. Still super impressive. If that was the ZX81 rating system of all the games we played, those are top tier. Top tier ZX81 games, but we're rating across all computers we've seen so far. All right, so after ZX81, what's going to happen next? Where are we going now? All right, we're going to the Atari home computer, and this is Quest for Power. Let's check out Quest for Power and see what it's like, starting with the artwork. This has got to be Crystalware. Yeah, Crystalware always, we have the baggy front of the box. It's in a bag for the manual and the game itself. You can see they have a price on the front, $40 in 1981, and you need 40K to run this. Quest of Power is going to be picked up and released again next year as King Arthur's Heir, I believe. And here's an advertisement for Crystalware. That's Quest of Power near the middle. So this is by Mark Benioff. Way to go, Mark. And there's our disc we'll be popping in on the Atari 800. And you need joysticks. Requires joysticks. So cool. Okay. Check it out. And we got a manual too. Let's see what the manual has. Quest for Power. That is really impressive artwork. They had to have ripped it off from somewhere. It looks like something like 17th or 18th century that's was used on something else, because it is based on King Arthur. And as we scroll through the manual, there it is. Mark Russell Benioff is the programmer in 1981. Yeah, really cool artwork for it. A word from Arthur. And so the time has come for England to select another ruler, sobbed Arthur. That is why I've summoned you here today, Sir Galahad. For I name you, son, my good friend Lancelot, as my first choice to be the next ruler of England. I'm sending you on your quest for power. What's required on this quest? Chanted Galahad. I've summoned Merlin to hide the infamous Scroll of Truth somewhere within England. Find and return the scroll to Camelot, and you'll be a requirement for the crown. Cool, so we're going to be king. And then we also have a note from Merlin. Merlin gets to give us information in the guide. Nice. Thanks, Merlin. And then Merlin has a magic guide. Looks like there's different places in the game. The caves of Somerset, Hastings Mountain, Sunderland, Essex, Castle of Skinfrith, the Black Forest, Eaglestone, Canterbury, and Camelot. And then we begin the manual. Okay, we can breeze by loading instructions because we're familiar with those, but then we also have magical things you'll be picking up. Oh man, this must be like the other game we've played by Mark Benioff. Another one was Fantasyland 2041 AD for the Atari home computer, also by Crystalware, and then the other one was the Forgotten Island. And so it might be the same idea where it's a top-down game, very ambitious, with adventure elements and role-playing elements. And some staff. Solomon's Ring, Moses' Rod, the Ark of Power, the Key to Essex, and the Scroll of Truth. They're just putting all kinds of fantasy references in there. Merlin's Magical Sheet Guide, the Forces of Magic. So you get to use magic in this game. Nice. Black signifies they're against you. Oh, yeah. And then we got some 16th century demons in the manual. There we go. Hillsborough by the Sea and Leeds. Lots of places in the game. We've already seen them push the limits of the Atari home computer in 1981. They're already making games that were way ahead of its time. And then we have more magical places found in this place. And then how do you move in the game? Looks like it is T. Oh, they're giving us commands that we can use on the keyboard, but you can use the joystick. So you move around using the joystick, and then we have keyboard commands to, looks like the T to trade, I for inventory, and S to save your game. To solve the mystery, you have to do several things. First, read the entire manual. Then go to the magical places listed, talk to all the people, and you may understand the neurotic mystery. So that's how they sprinkle in the whole adventure idea into this game. So they give you some hints from the author. So Mark's giving us some stuff there. Magical things are found in magical places. Oh yes, very cryptic, like most adventure games in 1981. So there you go. A brief overview of how it works. For different versions, we have, what's interesting, one by Crystal Computer and one by Crystalware. We're going to check out the Crystal Computer. It's a little more refined one. We have seen the bugs that Crystalware brings. So at some point in 1981, we got the Quest for Power. Let's slip in the disc and play for the very first time. The reason I picked this one is it is the slightly updated version, and hopefully won't have as many crashes. I also turned on artifacting because it's totally in black and white. Oh, we get some ditties, all right. So with artifacting on, we'll get some color. But there you go, Quest for Power, written by Mark Russell Benioff. And what kind of game is this? This is a new one. So I'm pushing number 1. Let's play Quest for Power on the Atari home computer. I'm really excited for these. These games that they put out by Crystalware, it's like something that shouldn't be in 1981. They try to mix together sometimes too much stuff. I say that with Fantasyland 2041 AD. All right, Gog Magog is very close. Hey, that sounds and acts just like the Forgotten Island that was made on that we played earlier. But yeah, joystick works. I can move around. Can I move diagonally? Yeah, move diagonally too. What happens if I push the button? It's just like the same. You push the red button. Oh my gosh, because I have plugged in an Atari controller, one joystick, the one red button. That's really funny. It says Camelot's going to the left. Let's go to Camelot. Let's ride to Camelot. You may not return to Camelot without the Scroll of Truth. Oh. In second thought, let's not go to Camelot. It's a silly place. So let's explore. We can move around. Looks like we got tombstones where we are now. Move to the north. Wow, yeah, so impressive. It's scrolling. You'd say it's choppy, but this is so amazing. Okay, so what happens? It says Gog Magog is near. That means there is a... is there a demon nearby that's trying to hunt me? I'm Lancelot, and King Arthur's going to give me the throne. So I moved all the way to the north, and now it's going to load, I think, another area for us. We can refer to the manual to see all the different areas and where to go, but each area, kind of similar to the Fantasyland 2041 AD, it all has mysteries that you have to discover. I haven't seen anybody to attack yet, though. I wonder if it's going to be the same attacking as before. Oh, here we go. We got... we get to the wall, and I said, ouch. The dragon's very close. All right, let's see where the dragon is. Oh, very close. Like we've seen with the other games, your character is so tiny. I can't even make out what I am. I even could look like a robot. It doesn't look like I'm a person. Just have to believe that I'm Lancelot. Oh, dragon's still really close. Where is it? Now I'm wondering if Forgotten Island that he did is like a demo, not a real game, because this sounds and plays almost the same. They just skinned it differently and added different levels. Where's that dragon if it's close? Oh, is that the dragon? All right, here we go. Let's see what happens if I fight. Dragon's attacking. Dragon's hit points are 18. I'm only 3. Oh, no. I'm going to die by a dragon. So what do I do? Do you wish to attack or flee? Well, we're most likely going to die. So let's try attacking just to see what it's like. Push the red button to attack. They give us the artifacting. We lose... Oh, okay, so the way it does it is you calculate by pushing the red button. You can see it's flashing different things on the screen, and so it's random. How much energy are they going to lose, and how much energy are we going to lose? Ready, set, go! So we lose 11, they lose 6. Not looking good, and yes, the dragon has slain us. So most likely we went to the area we shouldn't have. We weren't powerful enough, and we are dead. That's it. You lose. Good day, sir. Oh, we can reincarnate. Okay. Pushing start. The Holy Hand Grenade of Antioch. The one Brother Maynard carries with him. And so forth and so forth. And we should just do nothing but references of Monty Python and the Holy Grail right here. First, thou shalt count to 3. No more, no less. 3 is the number thou shalt count, and the number of the counting shall be 3. 4 thou shalt not count, neither count thou 2, excepting that thou then proceeds to 3. What is this? The Thames! Oh, can I cross? Oh, you need a boat. Oh, cool, you have boats in this game? So you need a boat to cross the Thames? Okay. Let's keep going to the right. But the scroll, look at this. It's like a role-playing game that makes you feel like you're in a bigger place. Reminiscent of Ultima, which we haven't seen yet, but we will. It's 1981. We can't leave 1981 without playing Ultima. But look at this. Is it scrolling diagonally? Wow. Very impressive. Yeah, the smattering of... Oh, here we go. Wait, status is day 7, gold 5, power 100. So it must have done a slight day-night cycle. We went to the next day. But who's this? Is this the Gog Magog? Let's see how powerful it is. Gog Magog. Can we beat up demons? He's attacking. He's got 25. He's even stronger than the dragon. Oh, gosh. So it's going to ask us, let's get out of here. We're fleeing. We got away. Run, run, run. Oh, what happens if we run? I think it just disappears us from the spot. Oh, we're back. We're back at Camelot. All right, so that is a very, very tip of the iceberg of what Quest for Power is like. But considering the other games we played, again, I'm very impressed. The Crystalware games, 1981, it's way over their heads. It's definitely above average. Of all the games we played, you can really have a great time mixing an action, adventure, and role-playing. It's not doing the stuffy role-playing that we've seen before, where you take 4 steps and so forth, but it still is lacking a little bit graphically, lacking a little bit with content, and then the random battles, the way that you push a button, and it's depending on what hit points, it's a little unfair. So I can't go even higher than that, but I'd still say for all the games we played, 4 stars for Quest for Power. We'll see that one again next year. Maybe even more refined when they call it King Arthur's Reign, or King Arthur's Heir. Alright, with that, let's see what our next game is. We're next going to the Apple II. This is Race for Midnight. Let's check out Race for Midnight, starting with the front of the box. Race for Midnight by Steven Sachs. 75 rooms, full high-res color and sound. Gotta have that 48K. I'm gonna keep track of that as we move forward in time with all the computer. I want to see what memory is required and then space is required for all these games we're gonna be playing. 48K so far is our max. It looks like we gotta dish out a lot of money to play the best games back in 1981. And then that's strange. That's the back of the box. So this is by Avant-Garde Creations, and then there's the 5 1/4 floppy disk. Yes. What was the cost on this one? Did it say on the box? $30 for this game. And there's this example of the screenshot. All right, so let's move on to playing it. We're going to slide in the disc, no manual for this one, and play Race for Midnight, released at some point in 1981 by Avant-Garde Creations. If they said high-res graphics and rooms, I'm expecting a graphic adventure game. There we go. Race for Midnight by Steven Sachs, cracked by the whip. A high-res adventure with sound. Each room a different picture. Whoa, they make it sound like it's a big deal. The first one we saw was Mystery House by Online Systems. Do we want instructions? Sure. What game is this? What are we playing? Race for Midnight instructions. You live in a small town in the 14th century. You're awakened this morning by a terrible pain in your arm. Uh-oh. Examining your arm, you found bloody gash in it. Wisely, you cover it up so no one will see it. Later, you find the townspeople have seen a werewolf last night. One person had shot an arrow at it, but evidently had missed because the werewolf continued running. Oh, we must be the werewolf. That's so cool. You decide to go nearby dungeon that's deserted. Legend says the powerful wizard Evro once lived there, but he became a victim of his own experiments. Rumor has he had strange and deadly creatures under his power. You decide that you might be able to find some sort of recipe for a potion to cure your affliction. Or lycanthropy? Unfortunately, it's right around the time of the full moon, and you know that you'll again certainly become a werewolf again tonight. In fact, the moon rises tonight exactly midnight, which has, oh, so they're going to time us. That's awesome. While searching the ground suddenly gives you way, breathing heavily and trembling with fear, you find yourself in a room. The west wall is completely caved in. Oh my gosh, talk about lore. This isn't even the manual. It's in the game. Or it's part of the crack, actually. I shouldn't say in the game. You look for Evro's secret potion. Within will tell you how to make the antidote. And there's only one exit from the dungeon that's in the southeast corner. You have 500 turns or actions before midnight. If you do something the computer doesn't understand, it will not count as a turn. Oh, that's nice. I don't want to say it's easy, though. Please don't get mad and use foul language with your Apple because they really don't like it at all. Well, now we're totally going to use foul language. Because we had the games that, we had one game on the arcade that we couldn't put in. It was Dam Busters. Because obviously the name was Dam Busters. You couldn't put in damn or swear words. It actually said it in the manual for the arcade game. Love it. All right, so playing the game allows you to become a member of the medieval society. You tell the computer what you want to do by typing two-word commands, so a two-word text parser like kill monster, if they'll even let us do that. Commands allow you to save the game in progress, and there's many other commands which have been discussed here. You'll have to figure it out. Of course, they don't give us anything. Hopefully there's a... My gosh, there's so much text. The graphics portion, you have a color picture in the room because it's 1981, and it's still a luxury to have a text adventure game with graphics. We've been seeing that since the late... or the early 80s. So it's 1981. We're still the early 80s, but they're making it like a big deal. It's so cool. In text mode, you have different things. So it looks like it's going to break it up like the Curse of Crowley Manor, where you have graphics and text that can go back and forth. Oh my gosh, there's so many things. So there's a door. You'll see hinges on it. Door will be printed on the screen after opening. The door hinges remain there. Therefore, you can tell it's opening by... Wow, yeah, so they even have fighting monsters in this one. So it's a text adventure game, but it's not just moving around, exploring, and picking up items. Do we get hit points like a role-playing game? Oh, nice, you can repeat your last command by saying again. That's cool. So the text parser is a little smarter. At least it gives us that. And due to some experience that Evro did, many of the monsters no longer have bodies. Because of some strange power, they can fight and inflict damage, so watch out. Have a good time. Press return to continue. The final routine parts. Good gosh, there's so much text. So yeah, a really big game you could sink your teeth into. They're giving you that much lore from the beginning. All right, they're setting us up. Race for Midnight. I'm going to fast forward because I don't know how long this will take. Let's see what happens. Sorry for the delay. Oh, thanks. All right, we're here. What happens if we look? Do we get anything? Or it just redraws the picture? Okay, it does. All right, so let's go east. I bet we go in this room. Where's the sounds? They said there were sounds in each room, but I don't hear anything. All right, now that we're east, can we keep going east? Got it. Okay, we're in another room. All right, look. Oh no, so the look doesn't tell us what's visible. What is that thing under the table? So now we gotta guess what the computer thinks. It's a git bucket. And it's gonna be like, what's a bucket? Yeah, that's not important. Try something else. Look table? Oh, that's not important either. Don't worry about the table. What about open cabinet? That's not important. Try something else. We see all these things, but now we have to figure out what does the computer call those things. Something's under the table. We got to figure out what that is. And then does not understand table. Look under. No, it doesn't have that. So there is obviously something under the table, but we have to understand what the computer wants us to say. Does this one have a help? Try examining things. Okay, what about inventory? You got inventory? We're carrying a sharp sword. Nice. And a lantern. Okay, light. Lantern. Something. Oh, maybe that's supposed to be a bed. Just a crudely drawn bed. Get bedpan. Against my best wishes, I'll pick up the bedpan. Oh, see, they don't know what a bedpan is. And it's very helpful when you can play adventure games where you say look and it tells you what the items are, so we know what the computer actually calls them. I mean, in the back, those couldn't even be cupboards. We don't know what they could be windows. We don't even know. We did skim by the instructions, so we could get a better understanding if we read the instructions. Imagine that. But it's still the frustrations of text adventure games for the time, and that's per the usual. These games are meant to play over and over and over again, solve lots of puzzles. Yeah, maybe it's a dog bowl. Drink bowl. I don't understand. Well, this game has a lot of things it does not understand. All right, what if we go north from here? All right, we're in another room. Oh, we have sounds. Sounds. There's sounds in here. You can't do that without unfriendlies about. Oh, do they have an unfriendly? Well, who is it? We don't even know what it is. It looks like Evil Otto, just blown up from Berserk on our right. What do you want if there's an unfriendly? If that's the werewolf, that's just hilarious. That's your high-res graphics. Hard at work. Fight. How about we just say fight? What happens? I don't know how to fight something. Screw you. I don't know how to screw something. Oh, it told us not to use profanity. So maybe the game's just mad at us that we use profanity. Let's see. Eat. Can we even move? I'm just going to keep moving north. Does it let me? Oh, we can't even move with the unfriendlies there. But he's a smiley face. How do we know he's a bad guy? Punch. I don't know how to punch something. Of course you don't. You don't know how to do anything. We don't even know what that thing is on the left side. Because if I say look, it doesn't tell us what it is. Yeah, we can't even look around. Attack. What about use sword? Use sword. I spell it right. Can't do that with unfriendlies about. Still can't. Draw. Sword. You don't know how to draw something. Oh my goodness. And with much labored frustrations, that is a quick taste of Race for Midnight. And as usual, when we do these quick tastes of games, the full experience you can't grasp completely. And if we played text adventure games all the way through and to the end, we'd be able to more adequately rate them. However, we'd be doing this quest playing every video game for a very long time, because these are the games that do take the longest. Nowadays you can look up all the walkthroughs and play them, but obviously you see we're having trouble with the text parser. Those two-word text parsers are pretty tricky. Yeah, while you're trying to figure out the puzzles for one game, just go play another game on your Atari, right? So, while I'm not going to really rate it as first impressions, I would say it wasn't giving us a lot of amazingness with the graphics, so I'm going to still say it's 2.5 stars, slightly below average. Trying to incorporate some elements that are really cool for an adventure game with graphics, but yeah, the text parser is to be desired. All right, with that, let's press forward and see what our next game is. It's now back on the Atari home computer. This is Race in Space by Analog Software. Nice. Let's take a look at the box for Race in Space. Analog. This must be by the magazine, right? They publish themselves. Cool, because Analog is the magazine we've been reading. Challenge the Asteroids. A very different space game. So it's not asteroids. You must not only avoid the myriad of tiny asteroids swarming horizontally, but you have to contend with comets, negative universes, and missiles shot by your opponent's ship. Options let you select from 128 different variations of the game. Written in machine language. Nice. You need 16K for this and 2 joysticks. Okay, better plug in my second Atari joystick. This is by Charles Bashand. Way to go, Charles. Oh, no way. Wait, did that say what I think it said? It does. I don't know if it's the same John. It says artwork was done by John Bell, but John Bell is a programmer. He programmed for Crystalware, so I don't know what that means. Any other artwork we have? We have an alternate box. Oh, the cassette version. Cool. Okay, and it says 16K for the cassette, 24 for the disc, and then an example for the screenshot. We got a manual too. Analog Software presents Race in Space. Ships allows you to choose from rockets or saucers. Rockets only move up and down. Saucers move in any direction. Comets enable the comets to start roaming across the screen. Universe is positive universe, gives you a black playfield. Negative flashes the screen white to black. So it disorients perspectives. Okay, great. And then the disc version, you can press C to change the color of space. Wow, okay, so what do they mean by 128 variations? It's really not that much. But we've already seen Atari try doing that on the VCS. You plug in the cassette and or the cartridge on the VCS, and then they expect the different versions to be different games, but they're just small variations of the game. So maybe that's what it is. Very minute variations. That's all it has for the manual, explaining what everything is. For different versions, we have looks like just alternate versions. All right, let's get the disc, slide it in, and play some Atari home computer. At some point in 1981, we got Race in Space by Analog. That's awesome. So if you entered or submitted your typed-in code to Analog magazine, they would publish it if it was good enough, I guess. I guess this was good enough. Nice, Charles. I love the opening. Okay, so it says press option. This is the button that's on your Atari home computer. So I push option. We're here. So option lets us switch everything out, and then select is... Okay, so we can have trigger... Oh, cool. We can turn on shields, missiles, warp drive. Okay, so yeah, let's start with shields and see what that's like. Basically, it's what does the red button do on your Atari joystick? And then density, you got double density, triple density, super density. Okay, well, let's do double density since we've been using double density floppy disks. And then ships, you can switch between rockets, saucers. Okay, rockets or saucers. We'll start with rockets. Comets, let's put them in. And then universe, positive universe, sure. When it's time to play, we push start. We're in. Oh, okay. So I'm using the joystick on the left. I'm the green ship on the left. And yes, this is a game that we played on the RCA Studio 2 and in the arcades in the 70s. Yeah, it's what I thought. All you do is you move to the top of the screen. Can you get to the top? And I have a shield. Let's see if the shield works against the comet. But you're just avoiding the stars, so you're just trying to be the first one at the top. And it looks like you have to have 2 people. No computers playing against me. I got my second Atari joystick plugged in the second slot. Or I thought I did. I guess I don't. Yeah, it's not plugged in right now. But the other player would play as the red side, and I'm the green side, and that's pretty much all you do. Just can you get to the other side of the star field? Rack up as many points as you can. And you see I got 3 points because I made it to the top. So a very archaic game idea we've seen since the 70s. This was, I believe, 1974 was when we first saw this in arcades. So just imagine this being cool to play in the arcades in 1974. That was a cool thing to do. Yeah, and it goes all the way back to the beginning. Can we go back? Or does it go... Oh, it does. Nice. So we push option on our computer, and then it goes back here. And then we can switch it out by, let's say we want the trigger to now do missiles and shoot missiles. And then density, let's make it super. So it's probably really hard. And then switch it to saucers, keep the comets on, and then make the universe negative this time. Why not? All right, let's go. We're in. Oh, so you can move around freely with the saucers. Okay, so that's different. But it's still the same idea. Just get to the top of the screen, don't hit any stars. I'll say the missiles don't do anything on the comet, but it's used to hit your other player. Whoa, and the flashing is real. Man, it really is 1981 with flashing like that. Oh, man. Alright, so it is the best version of this game. I believe it was first called Space Race in the arcades. So this is the best one we've ever played of Space Race, but it's still just Space Race. I mean, how much enjoyability could you get from that? And what did it say, 128 variations? I don't even know if it's totally 128. I think they're lying. But it's really not super impressive. Of all the games we played, Race in Space is based on an archaic formula, so you could have a little bit of enjoyment, but it's really not that impressive. I'm going to say below average, considering the other games we played. Presentation's all right, and it's the best version, but still 2.5 stars for Race in Space. Too cool, and it makes me think of, as we continue the channel and go game by game by game, we're going to have games we've seen from before just continue to be re-released over time. I mean, just wait until we get into the 90s and beyond. There's still going to be Space Invaders. There still is going to be those games released. So this isn't the last we've seen of Space Race from 1974. All right, so if you get a chance, check out the Google Sheet down below in the link, and it'll have when we played this originally in the arcades, or if we even could. I think it was one of those transistor to transistor logic games. All right, with that, after Race in Space, let's see what's next after that. Yes, this is awesome. This is time to get some Atari in. We haven't done that for a while.
With other companies' Asteroids.
Here we go.
As an intelligent consumer, I wanted to compare Atari Asteroids with other companies' Asteroids. But other companies don't make Asteroids. I wanted to compare Atari Missile Command with other companies' Missile Commands, but other companies don't make that either.
Oh, really?
Finally, I wanted to compare the new Atari Warlords. Unfortunately, other companies don't make it. When it comes to the video games the world wants most, nobody compares to Atari.
And we know so much better now, playing game by game by game, that it's amazing that we know that there's Missile Command and Asteroids on so many other computers, but in the mindset of just consoles, or if you think that way, oh yeah, Atari's way better, but no, it's not. Fun ad though, really fun. All right, let's see what we got for our next game. This is Racquetball for the Atari 2600. Let's start with the box. Got to use joysticks with the video computer system or the Sears telegame system. Either one, it's still Atari. This is by Apollo, and we flip it over on the back. You are the racquetball player. You've been challenged by a formidable opponent. The frenzied game begins with a crack of the racket against the first ball, which recoils from the backboard. Are you fast enough to return it? So it's Racquetball. First time we've played any racquetball game on the channel. Plenty of tennis, though. First time this is a racquetball game. Yeah, if you play the branded version of Asteroids, of course, it's going to be Atari, because they made it. And Warlords, yeah, they made it. But there's plenty of ripoffs that are just as good, or even better, wink wink, i.e. Ghost Chaser for the Atari home computer. All right, we have another artwork for Racquetball. We got a reconstructed box. You can see they beautified it here, and then the crummy back of the box. I like the crummy versions. And then we got our ad, 4 exciting new games from Apollo. And so far we've seen just Racquetball from this one. Apollo's trying to be like the new Activision. Didn't necessarily pan out. Because Activision was first, they did it very well. So you can see Racquetball on the far left there, and then another ad as well, Racquetball on the left with the other games. Oh, there's one we played, Skeet Shoot, we've checked out. But the other ones haven't seen yet. Oh, but we will. Oh, yes. And we also got the manual for Racquetball. How do we play this confounded game? Racquetball. Yeah, let's get a Racquetball going. You're the Racquetball player. How do you set up the game? Oh, we got the difficulty switch. That's the switch on your Atari VCS. For positions A and B, looks like it just makes the shots faster. And then our joystick. Yes, 8-way, move it around. How do you serve? You press the red button, hit the ball and make contact between the racket and the ball. You'll know when you've moved your player into about the range to hit the ball when the ball's shadow is about the same level as the player's feet. Whoa, that's really impressive. If they're going to have the shadow of a racquetball on the Atari VCS, okay. So scoring, and they're giving us an example of the screenshot here. Looks like, yeah, scoring's at the bottom for the left and right player, and I think we're not going to get too far because if it's 2-player only with no computer, I got nobody here tonight. So I'll be playing solo against the dummy. So the player earning 20 points wins, and then I think that's it. Wow, they didn't explain as much with how to play the game. So how does it again? You do the strokes? You press the red button and then move the player to make contact between the racket and the ball. That doesn't explain anything. That's like self-explanatory, but the video game, how does the video game work? So for other versions, we have the European version and the North American. We're going to do the first release in North America. Let's play some Racquetball, released at some point in 1981 by Apollo, programmed by Ed Salvo. Way to go, Ed. And we're in. Were there other game modes for this one? Let's see. It's looks like game mode 1 and 2. Oh, so we might have a computer. So let's try game mode 1 and push reset on the console. Oh, that's cool. We shake hands. We got an intro for a sports game. Sweet. Okay, so I'm on the left player. I just stand and push the red button. Wait, what? Oh, here. Go here. Go here. Go here. Am I doing something wrong? It's not allowing me to make the... Oh, I was in the wrong spot. I wasn't standing by the shadow. It does make a shadow. Yes, that's it. Yeah, so you don't need... The red button makes the ball appear, but you just need to move the joystick. Like the manual said, you just need to make contact. Oh, but I'm doing terrible, though. You can see the computer is destroying me. Because it's really difficult to tell where to go based on the shadow of the ball. Wow. But yeah, it's playing racquetball. You're bouncing it off the end, and then... So all I gotta do is push the red button. Oh, is that it? The game's over after 5 points? I guess so. So resetting again, going to another game mode. This is programmed really well. Look at the perspective of the game, considering the other games on the Atari VCS, and the resolution. I'm amazed it's on the VCS of how it looks. And what a task. Yes, we got a point. What a task to put a game that no one's made before. This is the first time we've ever seen racquetball in a video game. It looks pretty good. All right, so where do we do now? All right, I'm in. Go, go, go. Oh, man. Yeah, that's really hard to follow the shadow. Gosh. All right, so another point for them. Okay, so after playing this a little bit, I kind of get the idea, but you can see how difficult it would be to play a game that we've been primarily playing 2D games. And this one has a 3D feel, like we have an open space for it, almost like a tennis game on the Intellivision. But the type of game involves hitting a ball as fast as you can against the wall if you ever played racquetball, and so you have to follow where it is and then make contact with the ball. It is really difficult to translate that as an Atari game. Because I can't tell. Okay, so he just made contact with the ball, so now I got to. And yeah, I missed it because I didn't see where the shadow was. Yep, okay, I'm getting the hang of it. You have to follow the ball, but considering all the games we played, just think of putting a ball in 3D space. Someone had to program the ball bouncing all these different directions and make it so you can understand that. So it's extremely admirable. For me, for the first chance playing it, it seems a little disorienting, but I could see myself getting used to it. Yeah, it's bizarre. Being able to play a game in a 3D space like this and trying to find where the ball goes. It reminds me of the people that first played a 3D game when 3D was starting to get popular in the mid-90s, and some people just weren't used to it. They didn't like thinking three-dimensionally. That's what it feels like playing this game. Seeing where the ball bounces and where you need to go next. But it is very simple. You don't need to push the button. All you have to do is get your player in the right spot, and that's it. Once you get them in the right spot, they hit the ball. Yeah, this is crazy. This is on the VCS, too. We're playing on Atari. And Atari was home to Video Olympics, which was like Pong. Wow. Okay, yeah, so I'm getting the hang of it. I'm blown away that this game is on the VCS. And by a company that's not Activision and not Atari. This is done by Apollo. Nice, there we go. So I'd love to play this with 2 people, because playing against the computer is kind of unfair, but with 2 people, you're both having to work out the controls and understand where the shadow is and the ball is. So lots of fun. and highly impressive for the time. So Racquetball, I'm surprised. It's definitely above average for the games we played. The controls, they're keeping it really simple. No need to push the button. Just move the character where they need to go. When they're in the right place, they hit the ball automatically. So it's intuitive. It just takes a while to get used to the 3D space. I'll give it 4 stars. Of all the games we played up to this point, it is an excellent sports game. And for 2 people to play, it'd be a lot of fun to have for one of the very first times to play a 3-dimensional game. And I shouldn't use that like it's the newest, coolest thing, because we've seen on the Creative Vision a 3D sports game like tennis, and the same thing on the Intellivision. They've made the 3D area, but a game where your racquetball requires you to follow the ball around so many different ways, it works. It's pretty cool. So 4 stars for Racquetball. That was amazing. All right, so let's move on after that and see what our next game is. All right, our next game is going to be on the VIC-20, and this one I'm going to do a little different. We're going to start with the next game because it technically came out first. This is Rally X, and it's really not for the VIC-20. It was first released in Japan. So this is the Japanese Rally X. What happened was they got the rights from Namco, Commodore did, and they released it only in Japan. And if you see the video that's playing in the background, it was released for the VIC-1001. That was the model that came out in Japan. It's just a reskinned VIC-20. It's the same thing, but it's just called something different in Japan. So it came out first as Rally X because they got the rights from Namco. But the problem was the VIC-1001 didn't sell well in Japan. It tanked. And so this game almost got lost, and so they ended up re-releasing it. So we're going to play the first release, which was the licensed Rally X game. Let's start with the artwork. There is the box for Rally X, and they give the game the number VIC-1903. And you can see made in Japan. We have the advertisement flyer for the VIC-1001. So that's what it looked like when they were selling it in Japan. With another one, Commodore Business Machine, which that's not the Max machine. So next year we're going to see the release of the Commodore Max machine, which is a system that came out right before Commodore 64, but only in Japan. But that's next year. This year, the VIC-1001, it's been around for a while in Japan. And this is Rally X. There's the cartridge and then just a reconstructed box. Rally X, if you remember, is a really impressive arcade game, so I want to see how they do this on the VIC-20. So let's pop in the cartridge and play. At some point in 1981, Rally X, and you saw the developer right. This is by HAL Laboratory, one of the very first games that HAL has ever made. We've seen a few others on the channel. They've been programming, I think, 3 or 4 other titles before this one, so it's not the very first, but it's still really early for a HAL Laboratory game. All right, we're in. Rally X instruction tells you how to play, and look at this. The attract mode does like an arcade game. There's a car moving around. It has the radar on the side. Wow. Now, for the refresh rate, you can tell it's still using NTSC refresh, so it's getting 60 frames per second. But you can still see, because it's a VIC-20, we're getting a little flicker. And I can understand it's just pushing the computer to the max. HAL Laboratory did a very good job with that. All right, let's do it. Pushing F1 to start and P to start. It looks like, they're giving us keyboard controls, but you can plug in a joystick to the VIC-20, so we're going to do that. Yeah, there we go. They even got the tune of Rally X and the music. Wow. I'm in control. I can see myself on the radar moving around, making sure I dodge the cars, which are blue. I'm represented by green. And I'm playing Rally... I'm playing Rally X and dying by Rally X. Wow. Yeah, I can't believe this. I can't believe how well it works. The flicker is a little disoriented, but I can just tell they're really pushing the VIC-1001 in Japan really hard. Yeah, it's just like Rally X. Pick up all the flags. After you get all the flags, move on to the next level. Looks like I got no one following me now. Let's go down for these on this side. And they have the constant music playing. That is so rare for a computer game. Oh, you die if you run over an oil slick? Okay. Sure. Wow, yeah, you can see the radar giving a flicker. I really want to know who programmed this from Japan. Because HAL Laboratory, I don't know if Satoru Iwata is there yet. To do this release. I know he was involved with a lot in the day, but I don't know if he was involved in this one. All right, so let's push F1 again. Oh, we already got a game over, darn. And push start. The other thing that's great is the VIC-20 has a joystick you can plug in, and so to play this with a joystick's nice. The VIC-20 joystick, though, is kind of like the slider on the Intellivision, or the disc on the Intellivision, so it's not the most intuitive. They're going to have other ones released later, but by this point, you'd be playing with that. Well, actually, I'm not sure. In Japan, I don't think they're going to they use the same one that we had in North America. Oh no, the smoke screen doesn't work. He's right on top of me. But I can use it to block some of them there. And then you get the special flag too. They have that. Nice. All right, so that is the first version of Rally X, and then it obviously didn't sell well because the whole system didn't sell well in Japan. And because of that, then it was re-released in other regions as, this is Radar Rat Race, released for the VIC-20 at some point after Rally X in 1981. And let's take a look at the box for Radar Rat Race. Can you finish the maze and eat all the cheese before time runs out? Lurking cats, enemy rats, radar scanning, and incredible cartoon graphics makes this challenge action game for all ages. Yes, keyboard or joystick, just like Rally X. And let's check out the images. It's got two different boxes. This is the original scan, and this one is a reconstructed box. And there's our cartridge we'll pop in. Oh yeah, it looks like Rally X just with a new skin. We also have the manual too. So the Radar Rat Race manual looks like this. They got some artwork with a rat running away from other rats. How do you load the game? First turn your VIC-20 off, put that cartridge in, then turn it on. Easy peasy. That's why it's the friendly computer. So eliminate screen flutter. Nice. Some TV sets with automatic tuning on your screen flutter up. And so to correct this, hold Shift and F7. That's a cool feature. So the strategy is how to confuse the chasing rats. If the rat's hot on your tail, if you wish, you can confuse them by pressing the S key. It lays a star screen, which creates a false scent and confuses the rats, otherwise known as the smoke screen from Rally X. And then finding all the cheese, you look on the radar on the side, and then for controls, you can move around with your joystick or controller. So yeah, it's just the same as before. Do they have the bonus stage? Oh, they said there's also black cats you have to avoid. But it's essentially the same idea, just a reskinned Rally X for Radar Rat Race. And other versions, we have quite a bit of alternate versions in North America and in Europe. And then what's kind of interesting is some people hacked this game, Radar Rat Race, to play as Rally X or as Car Race, which is interesting. But we're going to play the first one released in North America. At some point in 1981, we got Radar Rat Race, the reskinned Rally X, released in 1981. Here we go. So to be clear, the Rally X that was originally in Japan was a port. Apparently this one was developed first as Rally X and then was ported over in Japan. So we go dodge the cats and the rats. Oh, look, it makes little twinkles to drop behind it. It just feels like we're playing a hack now of Rally X. All right, let's go. Does it have the same? Oh, they play Three Blind Mice instead. But it's still constant music the whole time. Let me drop my twinkles. Whatever that means. I guess the black cat just stands there. It doesn't do anything. But look at that radar on the side. Love it. I want to know if it has the bonus to play. Oh, this isn't looking good. Okay, outsmarted our way out of that. And all because I could see on the radar. Oh, didn't. I saw that one coming, but I thought he was farther away. And we have the time. Does using the twinkle makes the time go down again, just like if it was fuel, because that's how it was first designed. But gotta go around, get all that cheese. Don't hit the black cat. Stop that one there. Make our way on this side. Yeah, and I was saying about the flicker. Let's see about that. If I hit Shift F7, can't really tell a difference. It doesn't look that much different from how it was before, but we're obviously doing an emulator on this, not plugged into an actual CRT television, so I'm sure it'd be a cool feature to get rid of the flicker, but I bet this is the best you can get. It's still really cool for the VIC-20. Alright, can we do it? We got one more. Oh no, is that our last life? Okay, last try. Let's just make a beeline over here and get it. And see what the maze looks like the next round. We did it. So round 1, in the arcades there were several rounds, different mazes that we'd be able to play. Move on to the next round. Yeah, it's a different maze than it was before. I don't know how much you can hear the 3 blind mice in the background over and over again. I think Rally X's theme is better. It's a nursery rhyme playing over and over in your head. But wow, it's a Rally X game that you could play. Wow, that's great. Alright, so that's Radar Rat Race. I'd give Rally X the nod as the better one, but they had to do what they had to do because of the license. The license was only for Japan. So after they got Namco to give them the license for home computers in Japan, they're like, great, we can make Rally X. But then, you know, the VIC-1001 didn't sell well, so we got the reskin of Radar Rat Race. So for both these games, I'm going to say it's above average. For 1981, it's really good. I even say because it's Rally X, it plays really well. Radar Rat Race, I'm going to go 4 stars. And then for Rally X, having the port of the arcade, it's still really good. I'm going to say 4 stars as well. If I could, I'd give a notch lower to Radar Rat Race, just because of the tune in the background and because they're stretching something that already was a reskin. And they didn't try to cutesify it or anything like that. So, but I say both 4 stars. If I could rate not a half star, I'd give Radar Rat Race the nudge. But there you go. That's where we're going to be putting our gameplay on pause this evening. Had a great time checking out games in 1981. We're going to continue playing everything else we couldn't find a definite release date for in alphabetical order. So that's it for today. And like I always say, when you can't get a license of Rally X, just turn them into mice. Hey everybody, thanks for checking out the channel and joining me on my quest to play every single video game in order of release. We'll be streaming live every weekday at 9 p.m. Central, so join us and let us know if we miss any games along the way. This video would not be possible without RetroArch and Launchbox. Please tell your friends there's some crazy guy out there trying to play every single video game. You can always check out Chronologically Gaming on YouTube, Twitter, Instagram. Chronologically Gaming is the name to look for. We will catch you next time.